My name is Isabella, and from the moment I was born, I was surrounded by the brilliance of medicine, yet chained by a body that refused to obey me. My father, Dr. Alexander Moreau, is one of the most celebrated surgeons in the world. He has saved lives across continents, pioneered groundbreaking techniques, and received honors from presidents and kings. He could repair broken spines, rewire damaged nerves, and restore the use of limbs to soldiers and children alike. But not me. I was his only daughter, his miracle baby, and yet, in some cruel twist of irony, I was born with a condition that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors said it was a rare congenital defect, an unfixable flaw written in my DNA. I never stood. I never walked. From the cradle to my teenage years, I lived in a wheelchair, a silent throne of pity. I grew up in a mansion, but it felt like a cage. While other children ran in gardens, I watched from glass windows. While other little girls twirled in dresses, I sat still, hidden behind carefully composed smiles. I hated the looks people gave me. The poor girl, so tragic, so unlucky. I hated the way my father's colleagues whispered behind his back. The greatest surgeon in the world, and yet his daughter never walked. It wasn't his fault, but I could see the torment in his eyes. He operated on children with conditions worse than mine, and sometimes they left his hospital dancing, running. But me, his daughter, remained unchanged. And maybe because of that, he grew more protective, almost controlling. He hired the best specialists, flew in experts from Germany, Japan, Switzerland. All of them promised hope, and all of them left defeated. By the time I turned 18, I had learned how to survive on emptiness. I told myself I didn't need walking. I didn't need normal. I didn't need dreams. But late at night, when the house was quiet, I'd cry into my pillow, whispering to God, "Why me? Why couldn't I just be like them?" It was on one of those days, gray skies, rain tapping against the hospital windows, when I first saw him. I was waiting in my father's hospital lobby, bored, staring out at the storm, when I noticed a boy outside. He looked about my age, maybe a little older, with messy clothes and shoes so torn they barely clung to his feet. His skin was dark, his hair tangled, and in his eyes was a strange fire, not the look of someone beaten down by the world, but someone holding on to something invisible. He shouldn't have been there. The guards usually chased away vagrants, but for some reason, he stood at the gates, soaked by the rain, staring directly at me through the glass. I should have looked away, but I didn't. Our eyes locked, and for a moment, the whole world froze. Then he smiled, a small, confident smile that felt almost out of place on someone who had nothing. I frowned, uncomfortable, and wheeled myself back, yet something about him lingered in my mind. The next day, he was there again, sitting on the steps of the hospital, as though waiting. By the third day, I couldn't take it anymore. I wheeled myself outside, rain or not, and snapped. "Why are you staring at me? Do you need money? Food? What is it?" He stood slowly, wiping water from his brow, and answered in a calm, steady voice. "I can help you walk." I laughed. I couldn't help it. The audacity, the madness of it. You're homeless. My father has spent millions trying, and you think you, with your rags and your empty hands, can do what he couldn't? He didn't flinch. His eyes stayed locked on mine. Yes. Let me try. I turned my wheelchair around, shaking my head, but that voice, steady, unshaken, almost stubborn, followed me into the night. And deep down, I hated myself for it, because a part of me wanted to believe him. I never meant to see him again, but fate doesn't ask permission. His name was Darius. The next time I wheeled myself out, he was waiting. He didn't beg for money, he didn't complain, he just sat there, quiet, watching the clouds drift. Something about his calmness unnerved me. He wasn't desperate like other homeless people I had seen. He wasn't broken. He carried himself like someone who knew a secret. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. "Why do you think you can help me?" I asked. He smiled. "Because I see things differently. I don't have hospitals or machines, but I have a way. People are more than bones and nerves. They're energy, they're spirit. Your body may not move, but your spirit does. And if your spirit stands, your legs will follow." I rolled my eyes. It sounded like nonsense. And yet, there was something in his tone, a conviction that silenced my doubts. So I let him try. We met secretly in the garden, away from my father's eyes. Darius would kneel beside me, his hands rough but surprisingly gentle, as he guided my legs. He made me do strange exercises, things no doctor had ever suggested. Breathing in patterns, imagining light traveling through my body, speaking words of strength aloud. At first, it felt ridiculous, but his presence was grounding. He didn't treat me like fragile glass. He spoke to me like I was already walking. Days turned to weeks. My father grew suspicious. He noticed I was sneaking out, that my mood was changing. When he discovered Darius in the garden, the explosion was inevitable. "Stay away from my daughter," he thundered. "You're nothing but a fraud. You'll give her false hope. You'll break her heart. Get out before I have security drag you." Darius didn't argue. He didn't beg. He just looked at me, his eyes steady. "Do you want me to leave?" My throat tightened. My father's glare burned into me. I should have said yes, but instead, I whispered, "No." My father stormed away, furious, but Darius stayed. And so did hope. Something was changing. My legs, numb, lifeless for 18 years, began to tingle. At first, it was just faint, like sparks dancing under my skin, then stronger, like waves of electricity. One afternoon, as Darius held my hands and whispered, "Trust yourself," I felt it. Movement! My toe twitched. Tears blurred my vision. I gasped, "Did you see that?" He smiled, nodding. "I told you, this is just the beginning." For the first time in my life, I believed. It happened on a quiet evening, under the golden glow of the setting sun. Darius had been guiding me through another session. My father was watching from a distance, arms crossed, ready to dismiss it all as fantasy. But then Darius whispered, with a certainty that made my heart race, "Stand, Isabella." Fear clawed at me. My legs had never obeyed me. The thought of falling, of failing, paralyzed me more than the condition itself. I can't. Yes, you can. Don't think. Don't fight. Just trust. My heart pounded. My palms were sweaty. And then I pushed. My body trembled. My knees wobbled. But I was rising. Gasps filled the garden. My father's eyes widened. And before I knew it, I was standing. Not for a second, not for a dream, but truly standing. Tears streamed down my face. My legs shook violently, but they held. Then, step by step, I trembled forward and collapsed into Darius's arms. I had walked. My father fell to his knees, covering his face. The man who had conquered medicine, who had defeated death countless